Hi Cancer, I hope you guys are doing great today. We're going to do some general messages for the first 2 weeks in June. Hope you guys are doing great as we come up on you to your solar return. Let's see what kind of good messages we can get for our Cancer friends. Cancer Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Guys, these are going to just be tarot messages, okay? We're not going to be... I have so many messages out there right now for astrology, right? I have all about the retrogrades. I have Black Moon Lilith, the video Black Moon Lilith I just did. So definitely check those out if you're looking for other messages. But let's see what kind of stuff will come up for career and relationship. I'm going to be mixing the messages this time. I'm not going to be doing them separately. So let's see what comes up, and then we'll roll some astro dice and see what kind of advice we're going to get. Okay, so this is the recent past, this is the present, this is the future, this is the final outcome. Okay, so we have the Six of Pentacles is the past energy that I'm getting for you guys, and this shows me that money came into you, but you weren't able to keep it, either because of carelessness or someone tried to get over on you, or some of you maybe even been stolen from, or something eclipsed away from you. So it could have certainly been the general messy situation going on with many careers right now. Some of you may have been experiencing some sort of envy due to money though too, guys, like either you or somebody else that you've been dealing with, where they were very envious of you about the money that you had. But it's this idea of money being handled in an unhealthy way, right? If this has to do with money, this can also indicate an offer of money coming in, right? But it has a lot, maybe it had a lot of conditions that weren't really acceptable to you, like some sort of loan or some sort of situation where you were just really not comfortable. So, you know, hopefully you thought to say no, because this does not support compromise, because there are always going to be other options that are going to be, you know, could be available to you. Now, if this has nothing to do with money at all, and this has to do more with the relationship, this is recognizing that you're not really getting what you need in the relationship. You're really not getting what you need in that job as well, actually, right? Going back to career, it is this idea of not having what it is that you need. But when it comes to relationships, this is more about mental, physical, and emotional connection. So you're not having that connection that you really want. You're feeling very disconnected. And it could just be because of the pandemic, or it could be because you guys are just not connecting. Having to do with communication, having to do with intimacy, having to do with all of the things that you're really looking for, right, in a relationship. It is this idea of just sort of, and you realizing this, right? As these realizations come to the top, because this is the moon and Taurus energy. So whenever we have a moon energy reverse, it's these emotions and these feelings coming into our consciousness and us realizing it, right? So you feeling like that, right? And then we look under here as a clarifier, we have the World. Yeah, I mean, so you were like front and center with what it is that you want. You know, this is a Saturn energy that really rewards you for your efforts that you're putting into whatever it is in your life at the time, right? Because the World is a big energy, but it's this idea and this desire and this feeling of this deep joy and happiness, right? And this tells me, Cancer, that you're beginning to feel like your commitment and dedication to a job or that relationship, you were just really ready for it to start paying off. You know, you're ready for life to feel really balanced, right? In work, relationships, finances. You just want things to go smoothly at home, right? I mean, this energy is a really nice energy. And if for you to feel a sense of lack when you're internally feeling this World energy, feeling it, knowing that it's there for you, right? So this tells me that a phase came to an end in a very positive way, and that you're going to be acknowledged for something if you haven't already been. So this could be maybe you feeling like this sense of lack at work, or this sense of restriction at work, or the sense of restriction having to do with communication in a partnership, or that lack of commitment in the way that you wanted to, right? Just that lack, the sense of lack, but things starting to turn around because you're making them turn around, because you're actually making these things happen for yourself. And there's a very celebratory vibe here, Cancer, inside of you, right? Because this does indicate celebration, which is going to be happening, right? I mean, as we come up on your solar return, this does indicate celebration of like anniversaries, birthdays, you know, things like that. You know, so that totally makes sense to me. But for some of you, this is you really tapping into this idea of like, you know, realizing like, you know what, I want to go after my dream home. You know, really recognizing that you're putting so much work into something and you want something to be different. So your mind is going with improvements that you want to make on your home, or going out and finding a new place to live that resonates with you more. You know, in relationships, this indicates just a strong desire for happiness and peace and just, you know, really loving connection. And it indicates you achieving your goals at work and maybe even landing a new position or promotion. This is about rising in status, right? So Cancer, this tells me that you're very, very ready to rise in status. And that is the underpinning here, because you're bringing this to yourself and you're not able to stay in situations anymore where you feel that sense of lack. It's almost like you're being squeezed out of something, if that makes sense. Like you can't stay in that job anymore. You can't stay in that friendship. You can't stay in that relationship in that way anymore, because you are feeling called by so much positive energy, and it's in there. You're feeling it because it's happening for you. This is like calling you on your path. Like, you follow? You are just not going to have the patience or the wherewithal for any nonsense. Your feeling of success, your feeling of love, your desire for peace, all of that is just going to trump out anything that is going to be standing in your way of getting there. And so I love this energy for you, right? So this is coming into the present right now, where now we have the Magician, which is awesome. I love the Magician. This is a Mercury energy, and we're in Mercury right now, even though we have like all these retrogrades going on, right? This is about communication. Communicating, it's a time for action. Communicating and expressing your ideas and desires, right? So this is really calling for you to broaden your horizons, and you have the ability to create changes in your life, right? This also indicates you connecting with your higher and true self and acting with really pure intention. So you really... I love. This is a beautiful combination that I haven't seen in forever. The World and then the Magician. This is beautiful. You have so much support to make things happen in your life that Six of Pentacles reverse energy, you don't have time for it. But it's even more than that, Cancer. It's like on an emotional level, you're not going to be able to stay in something almost... Even if you want to, you're not going to be able to talk yourself into something right now that's not really, really resonating with you, right? So like, let's break this out, the different ways that it can mean, because it's a major arcana. So we have to look at the different interpretations of it. So if this has to do with a home, you know, or your home environment, a house sale's completed, or you decide it's time to move forward with remodeling plans. This is a very social time as well. Visitors coming in, you wanting to do some sort of entertaining. If this has to do with relationships, if you're single and you want love, it's coming. If you're in a relationship, this shows love in action. You're definitely going to begin to see some sort of deepening of a commitment here. Communication between you guys is excellent right now. You reach an even deeper level of each other's needs, which is awesome. I really like this. For some of you, you may even be deciding to take on some sort of joint venture with a partner. So this could be some sort of project, you know, maybe even some sort of investment thing, you know, starting a podcast together, so starting a channel together, starting something together, which is really great. If this is to do with career and money, this is definitely a new beginning, either finding new employment or a new direction within what you're doing already. It doesn't have to mean that you're just walking away altogether from what it is that you're doing. But this can also indicate inspired leadership from a really, really, really grounded and enthusiastic person. So that could be you, or you dealing with somebody who's really, really positive in that way. So unbelievably fantastic, like great energy. I'm feeling like mid-June for you guys. I really like it. And I like it because then we have this Queen of Pentacles energy. Okay, so we have to... you're going to have to really look at this. Queen of Pentacles reverse. This can indicate you having to deal with financial issues. Money you initially relied upon doesn't come in, or where funds are misappropriated. So, but what I like about this is the Magician is the answer to this. It's you making the changes that have to do with this. So you may have to deal with the impact of somebody else's financial mistakes. So they're not even necessarily yours. This could be like a partner, it could be a marriage partner or any sort of partner that you're dealing with, even if it's like a business partner. But somebody else's mishandling of funds ends up becoming your problem, kind of, but don't worry, right? Because this is temporary. Now, if this has nothing to do with money, this can even be, for some of you, you're in a space where you're actually neglecting your home because you're so focused on taking care of other things right now, right? With other concerns in your life taking over. Now, if this is a person, you might be dealing with somebody who's really, really stubborn, because remember, it's core card. So we have to interpret it as a person or a general influence. So you may be dealing with a really stubborn person who can actually be pretty mean with money, or at the other extreme, be a real emotional spender, like where they have erratic behavior. It's kind of like for self-comfort, or you might even be dealing with somebody who tries to use money to buy other people's affections, right? So, because this is the clarifier for the Magician, so it's like that you're dealing with this energy, and you kind of have to just step in and do you, Cancer. You have to step in and you have to be the problem solver. You have to figure out what's going on with this energy, right? I mean, we have the Six of Pentacles reverse and the Queen of Pentacles reverse. So it's like, but then you have the World and the Magician. So this is you stepping in. To me, I'm getting such like an Empress vibe. Is the Empress here? No, but I am getting an Empress vibe where you're having to step in and take care of everything. It's like you're needing to be the Empress for yourself and for everyone around you in your immediate environment. Like if there are challenges having to do with resources or anything like that, you're just stepping in and saying, all right, you know what, I'm not dealing with this anymore. We have to do A, B, and C, and you really being able to make it happen. So I love that. And that, because how important is safety, right? Cancer, how important is safety to Cancers? This is you identifying what's getting in the way between me feeling comfortable and safe and not, and you know what, I'm going to do what I have to do. So I really like this. Now, in the near future energy, we have the Eight of Cups. So listen, this is some situation that you've been involved in has become super stagnant for you. It's like conversation, creativity, maybe even money just has become stagnant. Let's just say you call it stagnant. Just no longer in the flow of where you really want it to be. And you being in this space of realizing if you're going to meet your own needs, you may need to have them met elsewhere. Now, this doesn't mean all of you getting up and leaving your entire life, okay? It's going to be in a certain facet of your life that you're going to be feeling this in. So this indicates a feeling of restlessness, as if something is missing. So this work or even relationships can appear pretty harmonious on the outside, but your intuition is nagging at you like nobody's business, right? This can lead you to making a decision to move on into something that gives you greater fulfillment, as you're not feeling fulfilled in some area of your life right now, Cancer. But don't do this hastily. You only want to move on when you're sure, absolutely sure, that there's no more that you can gain or contribute, right, to that relationship or that job, whatever it is. And when the timing's right, it's everything is going to work out really well for you to move forward, right? It's kind of like this, it's like almost like a slipping away energy where, why is it easy to slip away? Because you don't have to deal with consequences, right? But if you time things correctly, the release of that job or the release of that relationship or the release of that friendship is going to go a lot more quietly in your life. Even though you're probably going to feel some sadness, but you're not going to feel regret if the timing is done right. So it's really kind of time to just kind of go with the flow, Cancer. Really, you have to move on to where your real interest and your curiosity are calling you. Many of you may have already left a situation like emotionally. It's a Saturn and Pisces energy. Saturn and Pisces doesn't play around. Saturn in Pisces is like, if this is not making you happy, and if you honestly feel and recognize that this job or this relationship is not going to bring you where you really want to go, because Pisces is all about, what are you really dreaming about? What are you feeling in your belly that you really want for yourself? That's that Pisces energy. And Saturn is going to make you get there come hell or high water. And it's not going to allow you to stay in situations that aren't serving you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because then we get the Six of Wands as a clarifier. This is all about respect, right? This is a great energy that indicates deserved success. So if you've been struggling recently and feeling unsure if your hard work would finally pay off, this indicates a promotion, a new contract, some sort of new offer at work, right? And this can also indicate an outstanding legal matter for some of you going in your favor. In relationship, this indicates feelings being shared and really well received. And when it shows up close to an emotion card, which we have, the Two of Cups is coming in next, which is really great, because that indicates these two together indicate a proposal with some sort of celebration having to do with relationship. This is good news, which can relate to any aspect of your life. So it could be relationship, it could be career, it could be education, it could be something to do with property, but good, solid decision making in this energy. Good, solid decision making. And I like this with the Eight of Cups, because it's like these epiphanies that you're having, the Six of Wands energy, it's pushing you to recognize what it is that's not working for you. And this is really going to encourage you to make these changes that are necessary. I love it. And then we have the Two of Cups as the final outcome. This indicates peace in partnership and love. All right, so I know not everyone is in love, but let's understand it for relationship first. In relationships, this indicates a deeper commitment in an existing relationship, such as an engagement, moving in together, getting married, whatever it means to you. It's going to mean something different for everyone. But there's a great connection between the two of you here, and in a way, you're going to feel like, yeah, kind of like at home here, right? Like whole and content, right? Because what is the Two of Cups energy? Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer. And Cancer is the fourth house of home, right? And safety. So it's really, really beautiful. I like that. Now, if you're not in a relationship, this does indicate you meeting somebody. Very strong passion here, all-consuming in a good kind of way, and you're very all caught up in each other. Really benefic, beautiful energy for meeting somebody new. Now, for those of you not at all interested in love or not dealing with love, this does indicate inspire partnerships to create some sort of business or even some sort of really beautiful new friendship that you're making right now, which is great. This can even indicate hooking up with a great therapist, guys, because whatever relationship it is, it's going to be very mutually supportive and very understanding. So it's just going to be, it's a beautiful energy. If for those of you who've been in a challenging space, right, having to do with relationships or anything like that, this does tell me like arguments are going to be resolved. This often indicates like reconciliation. For those of you who maybe, have been out of touch for a while, maybe you've been in some sort of cyclical situation with your relationship where you're together, you're not together. This does indicate a coming together. I just want to mention on a more technical note, though, that I'm being very called to say this. Somebody needs to hear this on a more technical note. For those of you dealing with contracts or some sort of financial settlement or custody issues or even like a rearranging of your working hours or schedule, you're going to find things going in your favor. Somebody needed to hear that, definitely, because I don't always get called to say that with that energy. All right, and now all of that is happening. What are you needing to deal with? We have a King of Swords energy. Okay. So we have King of Swords in reverse. So yeah. So this tells me that you were dealing with somebody who was playing mind games or would do almost anything to win. So this could have been in relationship. This could have been in career. So this could be, where you guys were out of touch and you're having that reconciliation and you're having that settling up of that argument or whatever it is. It's because somebody was acting very egotistical, very self-serving, very challenging, right? Just very manipulative. And whenever we have a sword energy in reverse, it could indicate, first of all, like somebody maybe went ghost, or somebody was, you know, not in communication for what they thought was a good reason, okay? Because they do get this ego involved here. It doesn't mean it was good, bad, or I'm not, you know, I'm not judging here. I'm just saying that that could have been the situation where there was no contact, or if there was contact, there might have been manipulation, half-truths, things like that. But for whatever reason, this person may have thought that that was how they needed to be. And it does look like that there is a straightening out of that energy where there were realizations. So that could be in a romantic partnership or a business partnership, or even in a friendship, family connection even, right? Where there is misunderstandings have a fresh face, right? And things are settled. Okay, so that's what we have for those. So let's roll the dice and see what we get as far as advice. And let's do some oracles. Uranus, Scorpio, second house of money, future. Ooh. Oh, I like this. Oh, Cancer, second house of resources, things we value. We have Uranus. It's an Aquarius. You might be dealing with an Aquarius energy. But Uranus is about technology. It's about the future. It's about, boom, what are you doing now? We're going to do things different. Right? It's a moving into a new phase. That's Uranus. So it's moving into a new phase, having to do with things that you value, so having to do with money, how you handle money, your relationship with money. And then we have Scorpio. So I like this. I like this because Scorpio, what's interesting here is the second house. Scorpio is the 8th house energy. So Scorpio, the second house and the 8th house are ascendant and descendant from each other. They're partners, right? The first house, the 7th house, the second house, the 8th house. Okay, you get the picture. So the second house has to do with resources, our resources, what we have. Scorpio in the 8th house has to do with partners' resources, what other people have. It has to do, and Scorpio also is ruled by Pluto, which has to do with endings and beginnings, so new cycles. So a simultaneous ending of a cycle with a new beginning at the same time. So I like this. This is has to do with Scorpio with the 8th house, has to do with other people's money, has to do with investment, has to do with payouts, it has to do with debt. So it has to do with all of that. But this does indicate a cycle ending and a new one beginning. So there's a lot of moving forward, I feel like, having to do with things having to do with money. I'm definitely getting money here because we have the 2nd and 8th house energy with Uranus. It's all about, boom, let's do something different. You know, so I like that. Cool. Very good. That's very specific to money. I am getting that. Also, Scorpio does have to do with deep intimacy and sex. I do want to say that. That has to do with an 8th house energy. Not the act of sex, that's 5th house energy, but that deep soul connection that we feel. Yeah. So I do like that. So a deepening there, and something happening different in the world, in the realm of intimacy for you. Okay, let's pull some. If we could straighten these cards out, for goodness sake, let me cut these heart-shaped oracles, right? Cute shape, but silly to shuffle, right? So any messages for you guys? Let's see. Oh, well, one of these we got. I got 2 of these actually for Gemini. Might be doing Gemini. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. Sexual union, honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you will find true bliss. Beautiful. That's Scorpio. And then we have freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. If you want it to be. Okay, let's pull a couple of non-reverse tarot. You guys know I do not pull reverses when I'm working with oracles. King of Pentacles, love it. Knight of Pentacles, love it. Queen of Swords. Yeah, listen, it's all about honesty here. Queen of Swords is going to be, yeah, straight up. What's the truth? What's going on? There's no more sugarcoating of something here. You know, Virgo and Libra doesn't joke around. Virgo gets right to the core of things. It's very critical of themselves and other people. And this is getting really down to the nitty gritty, the truth, right? Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the sword energy. So it has to do with the truth in relationship. King of Pentacles, we love the King of Pentacles energy, right? Aries and Taurus. So this has to do with a new path, a new perspective. I love it. Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's a new path that, Cancer, I'm getting that this is a very big energy because I feel like there's so much newness here. Even if you've been in a relationship for a really long time, this indicates this new path, this new chapter, where there's going to be this deep connection. It's, you know, this just very deep connection. And then we have Leo and Virgo. I love this. Leo and Virgo, the Knight of Pentacles. Leo's the fifth house of fun, first of all. Can we just talk about that? Right? Leo has to do with, that fifth house energy has to do with how we connect on a Sunday through Monday basis, what we do for fun. It has to do with sex. It has to do with love affairs, right? It's beautiful. But because there's Virgo in there too, there's going to be communication about this. So here in this way, you know, when it comes to relationships, I always say Pentacle is the emotional, mental, and physical connection that we feel with one another within a relationship. You know, of course, it could still have to do with money, because money can obviously inflect a relationship as well. But with the oracles, I don't read it like that. So really beautiful. I think this is a great time for you, Cancer. Even if you feel right now when you're hearing this that things have been very unclear, and they have been unclear. Venus is retrograde. This is retrograde season. It's not supposed to make sense right now, but it will. As your solar return approaches, I see you not only waking up to any level of dysfunction or any area in a job, in a relationship, in a friendship, in a business connection, anything like that, that's not working for you, and you addressing it front and center and it going really beautifully for you. This is a very beautiful reading. I love this for you guys, honestly. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.